Unfortunately, Shelly Finkel has decided to ruin Christmas for millions of heavyweight boxing fans, specifically Tyson Fury fans, because Tyson Fury has announced on his Twitter page that he will not be fighting until 2021. So that date of December 5th, where he was looking to get out against somebody like Ajit Kabayel, has now been scrapped. And I can only imagine that it's because of the ongoing legal dispute behind the scenes between Team Fury and Team Wilder with regards to who Tyson Fury is going to fight next. When Shelly Finkel is not flying around at night, beaming people up out of their beds into his spaceship where he can probe them with various medical instruments, when he's not doing that, he is trying to squeeze every dollar out of Deontay Wilder's career that he possibly can, in my opinion. Because it's my view that Deontay Wilder don't really want this trilogy fight with Tyson Fury, at least not right now. Because this is a guy who is normally very vocal, normally very active on social media, and he went missing after that humiliating defeat he suffered at the hands of the Gypsy King earlier on this year. Went missing for several months, despite the fact that Tyson Fury was calling him out in several videos, asking him what's going on with his trilogy fight. Radio silence from Deontay. Deontay allowed the clock to get run down to the last second before he popped his head up. After hearing Tyson Fury was going to move on and fight somebody else, he popped his head up to save face and said, "Where you at, Tyson? I'll fight you. You're a cheat." Where was he weeks earlier when Tyson Fury was calling him out? Why did he let the clock get run down to the last second before even responding? In my view, Deontay don't want it, but his team do want it. My best guess is that Deontay was telling his team that he was injured. And that's how he was able to get them to lay off him a little bit in terms of pressuring him to take the trilogy fight. That's my best guess. This is why there were the rumors about Deontay being injured flying around. Because I think Deontay is the one who is trying to convince his own team that he was injured. Because he's not the kind of guy who's going to tell his own team, "I don't feel ready for this trilogy fight." He's got far too big an ego for that. So he's going to tell them, "Oh yeah, I want it. But I'm injured, so I can't do it right now." Hoping that the contract gets expired and Tyson Fury can move on. It's all about saving face for Deontay, in my view. So there you have it. I was looking forward to seeing Tyson Fury out later on this year. Look, if Deontay and his team were on the same page and they weren't messing about and singing from different hymn sheets, and the Tyson Fury was signed and sealed, the Tyson Fury trilogy fight was signed and sealed for December, I wouldn't have any issue with it. The issue is that they're not on the same hymn sheet, in my opinion. They're trying to go in two different directions, and that has kept Tyson Fury out the ring unnecessarily until 2021. Very, very disappointing. Will Deontay be able to repair his ego, his confidence, etc., to face Tyson Fury maybe in February, back end of February, maybe March next year? I hope so. I hope this legal dispute gets sorted out long before then, because it's all about Tyson Fury being able to move on with his career. That's what it's about. Whether he faces Takam, Kabayel, or Wilder in February, hopefully he fights one of them so he can get on with things. It's the being kept out the ring and being stalled and stagnated that really displeases me. And that is down to Team Wilder. That is down to the fact that, in my view, they're not on the same page. So Mr. Shelly Finkel has decided to ruin Christmas. He's taken a leaf out of, well, what can I call him? He's taken a leaf out of BJ's book. Yeah, BJ. Actually, his real initials are AJ. And I'm not talking about Anthony Joshua. I'm talking about somebody else. Somebody else whose real initials are AJ. In fact, more specifically, his initials are ABJ. That guy is also hell-bent on ruining Christmas. Not that he's going to succeed necessarily, but he's hell-bent on ruining Christmas for millions of people. The same way that Shelly Finkel of X-Files fame is also hell-bent on ruining Christmas for millions of heavyweight boxing fans. So let's see what happens here. There's apparently a judge arbitrating the situation between Team Fury and Team Wilder. Hopefully it can be resolved sooner rather than later. Tyson Fury recently said that he's never going to fight Deontay Wilder again because of the things that Wilder has said about him, and I don't blame him for feeling that way. But whatever the case may be, whether it's Wilder or whether it's somebody else next, I just hope he can get a definite date for himself to get out and move on with his career. If it's Wilder, if it's Takam, if it's Caballero, or maybe moving straight into the AJ fight, whatever the case may be, let's just get Tyson Fury back in the ring. As far as Deontay Wilder and his people, I get it. Finkel wants a cash out. Dees wants a cash out. Al Heyman, etc. And Deontay, he's all types of messed up right now. He's trying to deal with the demons in his subconscious. He's trying to deal with those demons by not dealing with them. And that's not going to make it better. You're not going to come up with all these ridiculous excuses to try and paper over the cracks. That's not going to work. You'll fall apart when you get in the ring if that's your psychological approach. If you're not addressing the technical and tactical problems that you have as a fighter. And thinking it's all down to loaded gloves and dodgy referees and, double agent cornermen and all this kind of nonsense. That's not going to help you in a trilogy fight with Tyson Fury. If Deontay, or more specifically, in my view, Deontay's team, force Tyson Fury and Wilder to get back in the ring with each other in Tyson Fury's next fight, Tyson Fury is going to have the bit between his teeth. He is going to want to punish Deontay even worse than last time. And Deontay being psychologically compromised at this point, he's even more vulnerable to a terrible beating. Only this time, he doesn't have anyone in his corner who actually cares about his welfare like Mark Breland. In Deontay's infinite wisdom, he decided to get rid of that guy. So let's hope there's a referee, be it the ref they had last time or somebody else, who, if Deontay Wilder is in serious trouble again, he'll step in and do what Mark Breland did and stop the fight. Because as much as Deontay Wilder is a very silly human being, I don't want to see him get seriously hurt in the ring. I don't want to see any fighter get seriously hurt in the ring. So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below about the latest developments with regards to Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. If you'd like to access all my boxing content advert-free and enjoy the convenience of listening via a podcast app with the option to download in high-quality MP3, then consider joining me on Patreon. In addition to the aforementioned perks, you'll also gain access to exclusive weekly live stream Q&A sessions and hangouts, as well as uncensored, no-holds-barred uploads, which are too blue for YouTube. This includes my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. Just head on over to my Patreon page and select the tier called Hatman Boxing Extra. There's no contract, there's no commitment, it's only £2.50 a month, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of hardcore boxing enthusiasts by signing up with me here on Patreon today.